Are you on the lookout for affordable housing to uplift your quality of life and fulfill all your aspirations? As an early birthday gift, today we'll explore ways to live rent-free or at a nominal cost. Let's embark on this journey together. Hey social media family, it's your girl Kaylee here, back with another video. I hope you guys are having a marvelous day. If this is your first time stopping past this channel, my name is Kaylee. Here you will find all things real estate, so if that is something that interests you, hit the subscribe button, join the family, and also hit the notification bell to be notified every time we have a new upload. Believe and it shall be given to you. But remember, with every request comes the possibility of unexpected gifts. As humans, we tend to desire more than what we need, but sometimes it takes change that we didn't know we need to achieve true fulfillment. So today, let's explore how we can accomplish this mission of change, starting with affordable housing. When we hear equal housing opportunity, the first thing that comes to our mind is Section 8. Section 8 is a phenomenal resource for individuals who are in need of affordable housing. However, Section 8 takes decades on decades on decades to even get a call back, let alone, let's not even talk about how long it will potentially take for you to actually get a voucher. Now, you have the option to apply for Section 8 and continue to wait and live day to day, living between a rock and a hard place, or you can start accepting change in your life today. I want to read 3 different quotes and I want you to listen and see if one of these resonates with you. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Or, we all have big changes in our lives that are more or less a second chance. Lastly, everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. Change comes in many forms of ways, such as one being relocation. After we discuss the affordable opportunities today, you may need to start accepting change in your life today and not tomorrow. Today we're going to be talking about Section 7. Section 7 is very similar to Section 8. However, you get the opportunity to get housing sooner than later. Section 7 are affordable communities around the United States that are community-based vouchers. Section 8 is where you have a Section 8 voucher that you can take from house to house, state to state, and things like that. Whereas Section 7, you still get an opportunity to be in a community with affordable housing. However, if you choose to move from that community, you will have to reapply all over again with that community that you choose to live in. Now, we're going to flip this bottle upside down and talk about qualifications first. 2 of the basic qualifications that you will need to qualify for Section 7, similar to Section 8, is no evictions and no criminal history. You do not need any income, and yes, you heard that right. You do not need any income. The unique thing about Section 7 is it is based income. So if you don't have any income, you do not have any rent. However, you will need not to have any evictions or criminal history within the last 7 years. Now, with me saying that, I still would recommend that if it's been within a year or 2 or 3 to 4 years from when you are trying to apply, I recommend that you still apply to the community and positive vibrations, yeah. Put in an application, talk to the office, and you want to let them know your situation and see if there are any loopholes that you can get in on this opportunity. To get started on this great, phenomenal, affordable housing opportunity, you want to locate communities. These communities, I will start out with Section 7 communities in whatever state that you live in, because the name of the opportunity varies from state to state. You need to apply to the community. When you apply to the community, there is a waiting list. You get on the waiting list once you turn in your application. After you turn in your application, on the application, you want to make sure that you have a proper mailing address, because that community will be corresponding with you via mail to see if you're still interested in that community. That's how you continue to be on the wait list to ultimately get up to number one and get your apartment. Now, if you do not respond to their correspondence via mail by a certain date, they do kick you off the waiting list, leaving you with having to reapply all over again, hoping that you follow the instructions the next go round. Now, with the waiting list is usually 6 months to a year, whereas we know Section 8 takes decades. With the 6 months to a year, there is still an opportunity that you can skip the waiting list, and that is called work preference. Work preference, you only qualify for work preference if you have worked at your employer for 6 months consecutively, the same employer. For example, if you're working at Bojangles in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you want to move to Fayetteville, North Carolina. If you have been working at the Charlotte Bojangles for 6 months and you're applying to a community in Fayetteville, North Carolina, you can qualify for their work preference system, which means, again, you get to bump up past individuals who do not work. Yes, you can. Yes, no. You do not need income to qualify for the apartment. However, if you do have work, it just gives you a little perk or bonus to get your apartment faster. Okay, now you have your application in. In the application, on that first page, it should have had some instructions on what you're going to need. Birth certificate, social security cards. You want to make sure you have started getting all of those items together. That way, when it comes up to this next piece, you are ready to go. The next step is the interview phase. In the interview phase, you will need all of that documentation, the birth certificate, social security card during the interview phase. During interview phase, the office will be checking this documentation, making sure you ain't claiming nobody else's kids to be trying to get housing. Illegal, right? So you want to make sure that you have all of your children information and people that is going to be in the household under 18. And if you have someone over 18, they need to also have their information and be ready to sign during the next step. During the next step, I want to mention, once you get to the interview phase, if you have done everything correctly up to this point, this means that you are coming up very, very, very close to the top of the waiting list, right? So, again, you want to already have started been preparing, packing, organizing, decluttering, because things move fastly, especially if you are going the work preference route. Work preference, literally, you can get in within a day, depending on what their waiting list looks like, if it's not too many people and things like that. So you want to be ready. In short, that's all I'm trying to say. Now, the next step after the interview phase is your apartment. Now, once your interview phase happens, whatever phone number that you have during the interview phase, you want to make sure that it's current. And if you happen to change your phone number, you want to make sure that you give the Section 7 office that you applied to your current phone number. because they would now be going from mail correspondence to phone correspondence. And you have to answer the phone because you are coming up very close to the waiting list. They will be letting you know the water company, the power company, that way you can start going ahead and talking to those companies, knowing how much the deposit is for that, if there is one. School registration if you have school age kids, and so forth. So you want to start preparing in the beginning and throughout the year, ready and knowing that change is coming. You hear me? So moving forward past the phone correspondence is they're going to let you know when you are expecting to be moving in. You have to be ready, money orders in hand. If you have security deposits for lights, water, whatever it is, just be prepared. It varies from state to state, community, community. There will be letting you know what you need, and you just really need to be prepared. So moving day comes. You'll meet them at the office. They'll give you keys. You guys will sign your lease, go over all the rules and regulations in your community, and then you guys will inspect your apartment together. They inspect your apartment together to make sure you guys are both seeing the same thing. That way, if any issues comes up, they all have record that this was not like that when you moved in. Therefore, you will be charged damages and so forth. Once you get your apartment, is it party time? No, it's not party time, guys. It's not party time. I know we can let our hair down. I know that we now have like just left some old baggage behind and things like that. But now that we have affordable housing, we're still in the process on this journey of upgrading our quality of life and fulfilling our aspirations. That's what this change came about, right? So we want to work on those things. Now that we have affordable housing, we can start looking at different trades, looking into different degrees that we can use as a vehicle for upward mobility. Housing is one of the key stressors in life that people have that kind of put a roadblock in a lot of our dreams and things, because if we have to work and pay the bills, we can't go to school, go to work, take care of the kids, take care of our man, and take care of things too. So with affordable housing, it allows us to free up some of our time to do some other things, to be able to fulfill all of our aspirations. That wraps up today's video. I hope you have gained some valuable insight on how we can accomplish this mission of change, starting with affordable housing. I'm your host, Kaylee.